Hey everyone, welcome back to Navajo Tea Time. This is part 4 of our questionnaire video. It is the last in the cycle. It's also the last Friday of the year, so we'll see you guys next year, and let's get into the questions.
Okay, so if you had to guess what people appreciate you the most, if you had to guess what people... Yeah, which people, right, appreciate the most, what would you say?
Wait, if you had to guess what people appreciated you the most...
Appreciate about you the most? Is that how it's supposed to read?
Or is it the people who appreciate you the most?
That's what I'm wondering, like, is it which people appreciate you or what they appreciate about you?
The first one sounds like it's for who. The second one sounds like a trait. Mm-hmm. Or what would you... It should be who would you say?
Right? It's written wrong. Anyways, we'll skip it,
Okay, who do you think appreciates you the most?
I think my kids appreciate me the most.
Same. I'm like, you owe me your entire existence.
Yeah, and they show me that they appreciate me. You know what I mean? Like,
I think, okay, so just to diverge from that, I think, well, my mom appreciates me the most for all the way I've helped her. She's told my younger siblings that. Because we always joke with her and tell her, oh, Charles is your golden boy. He's your golden butterball kid. Because, like, well, when he was a baby, my mom was selling at the bead stand, so she was always outside in the sun and the heat. So he had a nice golden butterball tan. And the doctor's like, why is he this tan? He's a child. He shouldn't be getting this much sunlight. It's like, he's got a tan. I'm sorry, and I'm talking to you. So we're like, he's your golden child, you know? And then Mom's like, well, you know, couldn't get anything done without Kelsey.
Wow.
So.
That's cool. I think, yeah, I mean, aside from children, I think my husband appreciates me a lot, and he shows me that he appreciates me, and he tells me, like, every day. And that's so cool, I think. But it's nice to be and it's not just like for just being alive, it's or breathing, you know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I do with my husband that's related to I guess academics, like just I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that we do together besides just parent or be married outside of the home, and he always tells me that he appreciates me for just walking beside him through it all. So I think, like, I would say that I'm grateful for that, because it does feel good to be appreciated and to be recognized. It feels good to go home and have people run to you and hug you and be happy to see you, as opposed to like, you're back. You know what I mean?
Why are you married to someone who goes, you're back?
That's why I got a divorce before.
Oh, also, you guys are subscribers. You appreciate us the most, right?
I guess the ones that said, I know, huh? Thank you, guys. What I would say to that is we appreciate you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise we would just be sitting here talking to
We're talking to ourselves.
Anyways, okay. Next.
What's your dream job?
My dream job. Dang. I would love to do my dream job. Dang, there's like 2 things I really want to do. One thing, I want to go back to my community of Tuba City and work there with Change Labs. I would freaking love to continue doing that work with that core group of people and build that out and have multiple. I've always had a big heart for NABN. I'm one of the co-founders for NABN, which rebranded to be Change Labs in 2019. That's where my heart is. I love like supporting entrepreneurship. I still do stuff behind the scenes, but not as much, not like before at all. And so I would love to go back and do that and do community work. I would love to work with the Western Navajo Fair again, and I guess help bring in funding for that to grow it so that we could continue to have the best fair and bring great acts and have the infrastructure in place so that people with disabilities, elders would have access, you know. Like, I would love to really help boost our local economy in that way. That's one of my dream jobs. My other dream job is after I get my degree, or my master's degree, I would love to teach at a university, preferably in the Bay Area. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would be so freaking cool to do work and continue to do research and interact with people, like, within that space, because it's such a unique part of the country, and the way people think and behave is so unique, and every time I've been there, I'm inspired, and I meet amazing people, and I would love to work with those people to kind of refine my skills, make more connections, so that I could utilize them later for our community and on the Navajo Nation. But I also want to, like, maybe if my life pans out the way it needs to, with some stability in place, I would like to continue my education. And I would like to write books, and I would like to continue to teach, and I would like to do research. I have an idea of a framework I want to create, and it's all linked together. And that would be my dream job, to do that too, and have it all coalesce. No, but it would require a huge time commitment. It would require a great deal of financial support and resources that my entire family would need. And like I said, I have children who themselves want to go off to college and start their own lives and do things. So it's a challenge, but eventually it would be great to be able to do that kind of work. And yeah, I have an idea of what I want to accomplish in my life, and that would be the dream, and that's what I'm working toward. But we'll see how it all plans out. Who knows? I might just end up working at 7-Eleven.
In Tuba?
In Tuba, yeah.
Seeing the Change Labs building grow.
I know. I don't know. I don't think that's going to end up happening. But, you know, you never know where your life is going to take you. You know what I mean? And so I always leave all options open. But I do have a dream, you know, and I'm willing to work toward it. How about you? What's your dream job?
Oh, I'm kind of doing my dream job where, like, I make videos and film. My other dream job I would do if I didn't have my learning disability, and I know it's a crutch, but it just makes things a lot harder, is being a psychologist. Research psychologist.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
like not a psychiatrist where you go and talk to people and help fix them. No, I want to do the other side where you're like, oh, if I poke this nerve, what does this do in your brain? You know,
It's a
like
mad scientist.
figure out how people's brains work. It's always fascinated me, and I know I wouldn't be able. Well, it's just like it was easier to be a filmmaker than a research psychologist.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So yeah, those are my two dream jobs. Well, like, the thing I love doing in film, like, if I could pick one thing to focus on, it'd be, like, the first AD position where, like, I just schedule the day out and I keep everyone on track and keep everyone on the time, you know?
Yeah.
That's so much fun for me to do.
Nice.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so we're down to the last question. What things do you want to leave behind in 2022?
What things do I want to leave behind in 2022? Nothing really. There's nothing that's been, well, I don't know. What do you leave behind? What are things? This has been, like, if Mona was on here, she'd be like, Kelsey, you're really bad at letting things go. I'm like, I know. I'm a hoarder of emotions, of people, of stuff. I don't leave things behind. What are you talking about?
It all comes with
Have
me.
you seen that movie Labyrinth?
Yeah.
And you're like, there's that little person that walks around
That's
with
you?
all the stuff on their back. Emotionally, you know, that's me. I don't leave anything behind. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh
It might be useful later in a story, for a movie, for a joke, to relate to someone, you know. You just gotta keep it all with you. You never know.
Dang. I know two things that I want to leave behind at least. One of them would be my fear of COVID. I've been carrying that for the past few years. And
you developed an anxiety about it.
I did. Like, I started to have anxiety attacks, like, that I'd never had before. So I want to leave that behind, and I want to, you know, I want to leave that behind in 2022. And I had a really toxic relationship with an individual I work with. And I want to leave that behind too, you know, not even give it any energy, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm not the kind of person that, like, when someone's being toxic to me, I try to be toxic back. If anything, I'm just kind of like, I don't know, but it bothers me to the point where I'm thinking about it, you know what I mean? So I don't, like, actively try to engage with it or feed it verbally even, but mentally it's taxing me because I'm thinking about it and it's irritating me and it's bugging me, And the bad side of me is like thinking negative bad things. Like, this person's lucky I'm a good person, or I would destroy them, you know. And I don't need to be a good person. I don't need to be, I don't need to be thinking like that. I don't even need to be giving it any energy at all. I just want to leave it behind. It's like, you know what? That should not affect me at all. I need to focus on the future and on other things, and just not give it any brain space. So I want to definitely leave that behind, because it's like such a waste of time. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I know those are two things. I know there's probably more, but how about you? Anything come to mind?
Like I said, like with the card readings of like, there's something ancestral that I need to address.
Oh, yeah.
And then also another card I keep getting is like, you need to release, you need to let go, you need to, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to let go of. I don't know what I'm supposed to release and I'm supposed to leave behind. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I want. There's nothing I want to leave behind. Like, yeah. Like, all the experiences I go through, all my lived experiences, all the negativity of people and everything, I take it with me as either, like, fuel for script writing or, like, a lesson on, like, how to interact with that other person differently or, just new information about other people.
Yeah.
But also, I think I'm just too good at, like, separating my emotions to, like, my present self. So, like, if I get a bad emotion or feel something bad about something, I might feel it for a little while, but then I put it in a box and I never think about it again.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm too good at compartmentalizing. That's not what it is. But, just separating emotions from thinking.
Yeah.
So I can't I can't think of something that I want to leave behind because I just push all my negative feelings away when I don't need to think about them. Maybe that's what I need to leave behind. I don't know. Maybe I need to feel my feelings. That's what one card said, but...
Yeah.
What was this? Feel your feelings, Kelsey. And it's like, no.
I think... I know one more thing I want to leave behind, and this is kind of a big one. It's, what was it called? Like, when you feel like you're not good enough for something. Like,
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, that's going to be left behind, because... I know that I often come off as really confident and like, I'm in control of everything and I'm very deliberate, but there is a piece of that in me as well, like, and I want to leave that behind, because this year in 2022, multiple people have I was approached by multiple people to take on leadership positions that I didn't ask for. But it was recognized by others, and so I was, I stepped into that, I stepped in to sit, kind of to lead, and it's even hard to say, I'm just like, oh! But, so like the ED of an organization that I was a part of, the ED stepped down, and it became a board-led organization, and there's 3 of us, and we were working on this transition phase last year, and this year I really stepped into leading a lot of that, and the other board members, they gave me their full support, and they have stated multiple times that if it wasn't for me stepping up to lead, the transition wouldn't have been possible, and the organization wouldn't have been able to thrive or continue on this year. And that was very, I did it because I love it and I believe in the work we're doing. But to have these people who are, they're like professors at bigger universities, they've accomplished so much more than me, and to have the confidence to stand behind me and support me like that, it was really meaningful, and I was just like really blown away by it. And this is the Resilience Organization. And then another organization that I was last summer, I believe, I was I was accepted onto the board of the Dinner Studies Conference, which is amazing because I love what they're doing. Well, the president of the organization, she reached out to me this past summer and asked me to step in as president. And that was shocking too, because there's so many other qualified people to do that. And she asked me, and I accepted. And so I've been doing that for the past few months, and it's just, and there was a sense, I did have this imposter syndrome, like, why me? Like, how am I, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see myself the way other people do. And it was very humbling for me. And then on top of that, 2 other individuals who are running for office during this last Navajo Nation campaign asked me to be their campaign manager. And again, it was just like, me? You know what I mean? Like, you're asking me? But the way they asked and what they recognized in my ability and in my know-how and my instinct to have people who I look up to say, I trust your instincts. I trust your ability to strategize. And I'm asking you to help me with this endeavor. That was so, like, mind-blowing to me. I could not believe it. And it humbled me. It wasn't, this is the first time I'm even talking about it, like, in the public. Because all this time I've just been like, I'm nobody, I don't know nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking. I can't do nothing. Don't even ask. That's pretty much been my attitude. But now that it's over, the election's over, you know, now I feel like I feel there's a little safe space where I can admit it. And I don't know, like, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. I finally recognized my ability to do things that I didn't think I could do previously. And it was because of that imposter syndrome that was, like, lying to me and, you know, telling me that I don't have what it takes. I'm not smart enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. But the truth is I am. And other people have reinforced that. They recognized it and they trusted me. Even the fact that you trust me is, like, a big deal to me, you know, and I have so much respect for you and what you do. And so I want to leave that behind. You know what I mean? I want to leave that imposter syndrome behind, and I want to move forward more confident in my own ability, in my own value as a person, and step into this new era of my life, because I'm approaching, you know, this next decade of my life, and I want to move into it, like, as a strong Dinesta. You know what I mean? I want to step into that role, because I really do feel that women are most empowered and powerful when they're in their 40s. And I want to move into that phase just so much more confident and just be effective and not be, like, taunted or lied to, you know, by this inner voice that tells me that I'm not good enough or not this or not that, you know what, I am. And if I focus on building out those skills and just becoming better and more effective and more efficient and more well-read, more knowledgeable, then I'm going to be okay. And those that I work with will be okay because of it. And I can actually contribute in a meaningful way. And that's something I definitely want to leave behind and I want to work toward too. So that's kind of a big one. Yeah.
I think I'm kind of, like, on the same boat of you as, like, with that imposter syndrome. And, like, I know these past couple of months, or this quarter, I've been taking steps and things to being more in the public eye, I guess, doing more things publicly. Where, like, we did the Navajo, like, the Western Navajo Fair meet and greet, and then a month later, I was talking on that PR, Indigenous creators in public relations and that stuff. So that, speaking on that, was, like, a really big step for me, because someone in the community reached out to me to talk, even though I did my best to, like, give her all the reasons why I wasn't a good candidate for this talk. And she's like, no, I love what you do in your community. I love the things that you're all about and this stuff. So I want your perspective on this national talk. I'm like, okay, I guess I can't talk you out. And then, like, the other day, I met with the Change Labs group because they wanted my opinion on their next incubator class. And they're like, we really want your opinion and the things you do. We think you're the most qualified because you edit all our class videos anyway, so you see everything. I'm like, okay. And just talking to them, and then, like, all this stuff, they're like, oh, we love this about you, and we like this, and, like, and I was like, stop it. I'm not used to all this positive reinforcement.
I know, and the candidates that I was working with, Kelsey worked with them, and they spoke so highly of you and your professionalism and your ability. And I know you're like really shy about it, but when I heard that, it made me feel so good, because that's how I want people talking about you. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of how it is when people like you care about who are doing great work. You want other people to recognize it too and value it, and they did. And I'm just like, yes.
Yeah, so it's like it's hard for the spotlight to be on me when you're like, because like just even being in front of the camera instead of behind it, it's really
it's so different. I know. I feel like such a noob in front of the camera. Like I just feel so like exposed and naked, and I'm just like but like behind the camera, I'm just like boss. You know what I mean? Like a whole different person.
Like when people aren't looking at me, I'm doing such great work, and it's not like I freeze up and can't do work when people are looking at me. It's just like it's really awkward, and it's always been like a defense mechanism for me, where like if you don't know what I can do, you can't ask me to do it, and that's just part of like the big family I've been a part of like where you don't want to get called out for things, to do things, to help with things. Like, that's why I always pretend I don't know anything about mechanics or cars. I'm like, I don't know what happened. The car just made this really weird noise.
I know, that's why I was like, I don't know nothing. I don't know nobody. I'm nobody. Don't look at me. Like, for the most part, I'm always behind the scenes.
Because, like, because there's that thing where, like, people take advantage of your time and your knowledge and, like, instead of, like, asking things for you, they expect things from you. And like being an introvert, I have to protect my time that I spend with people. Yeah. Socially, like what do I want to spend my limited social amount with, and where does that focus, and where do I need to put that energy? Yeah. So then when people just expect you to show up to every single meeting or expect you to speak up or talk, it becomes very negative for me. So I need, like, I have to draw these boundaries all the time and redraw them and just let people know I can't do everything. If you give me couple weeks ahead of time to know I need to do something, I can prepare for it. I'm not good at doing things the morning of. Yeah. That's not me. You can't text me the morning of like, hey, can you do this? I'm like, nope.
I've tried it. It doesn't work.
Because it won't work. I already have my whole day scheduled. Even my whole day is like, you're doing nothing but resting today because you need to recharge. That's still planned. And it's something I have to plan so I don't burn out. Because I've burned out a couple of times with happy accidents. And it's not good for me. It's not good for my company. It's not good for my family. Because I'm just like dead and uninspired. And like the bills don't get paid if I'm not.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've had the unfortunate experience of having people take credit for my work. And when I was younger, it used to really bother me. And I think that's kind of like what contributed to like imposter syndrome also. Because it was like, well, maybe I'm not worthy of that praise. Or maybe I didn't deserve A, B, or C. You know what I mean? That recognition or whatever. It was just weird. But when I was younger, it used to really bother me. And now it doesn't bother me at all. Like, for me, I'm very mission driven. And so what matters to me now is what needs to get accomplished getting accomplished. Are we accomplishing the mission? You know what I mean? And that's what matters to me. And I don't care who takes credit for it. Even if they're utilizing my work, it's like, whatever. You know what I mean? For the most part, though, like, that's not something that eats away at me anymore. You know what I mean? So I think that we're definitely growing up and we're becoming more experienced. And I think for us to recognize that there is this element of imposter syndrome that we do need to leave behind and just kind of step into these roles, because we're not bullying our way in any way. We're not trying to break down the doors and, present ourselves and elevate ourselves and put ourselves on a pedestal in any way, like not professionally or anything. But like, I think just having more confidence in our ability. And I think that could even be applied to Navajo Tea Time. You know what I mean? I think for the first year, it was definitely experimental. The second year, it was like we were trying new things because the pandemic hit. The third year, it's like we definitely got organized, I think. We got more structured. And I think now we're finally getting comfortable. like finally, we're finally getting comfortable. And that's cool. I think it's a good progression of our growth. And I think the next phase will be, I don't know, like, I know we've been talking about bringing more people on and collaborating.
Yeah, but then, like, also, like, the pandemic and still with COVID out there, it's hard, yeah. To bring people into your home and talk or like even Zoom is really difficult to coordinate.
And a lot of people are burned out from Zoom too. They're just like not excited about doing another Zoom meeting.
I mean, I love doing Zoom meetings. I'll do Zoom meetings all day.
I like them too.
But I can just turn my camera off and like be typing and doing other work while I listen to other people talk. Not that I do that, but
yeah, I think one thing though that we can do is like maybe be more confident in our ability to create content, and then create content for the community, with the community, because we are now at a point where we can engage more closely. It seems like just having the number of subscribers that we have, allowing us to do community posts. We did our first live yesterday. It was so fun, huh? Because we had people commenting as we were talking and adding to the conversation, and I love that. I think I really enjoyed that, and I want to keep doing that. And I think I do want to try to get some collaborations going with other content creators, because some of them are doing really cool stuff.
Yeah, we met a lot at the Western Navajo Fair, and it'd be nice to reach out with them.
Yeah.
Again, and reconnect with them and try to schedule them in. Maybe next year it'd be easier to schedule people in.
Yeah. And because our name is Navajo Tea Time, and we do, like, in addition to have tea parties, we also, like, I think we do sometimes have these hot tea conversations, which are more, I think it would be kind of cool to have conversations with people who might have opposing views. Or have conversations with people that have a vastly different background and experience than we do. I would love to do that. I think that would be really fun. And I think working toward that and coordinating that would be cool for the next year. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Comment a topic you'd want us to address or talk about.
Okay. All right. Bye.